It's a feast for all of us to hear and get information from eminent trainers of JCI. I once again welcome you all to the fabulous session by Guru of Gurus, past National President of JCI India, JC KV Ratnam sir. No doubt, after this session, we ensure an eureka moment.
Hello everyone. Business webinar series, 7th day training. What business school don't teach on 24th April from 3:45 on Zoom meeting platform being hosted by JCI Rajamandri Srimedha is hereby called to order.
She is an example of commitment and dedication. Even at the situation of COVID-19 in the country, she makes the Zone 4 flourish. I request such a great leader, First Lady of our Zone President, JC Rajitha Posala Garu, to kindly address the participants in few words. Please unmute her.
Thank you, Zone Coordinator Fanindra. Good evening, dear GSS of Zone 4. Indeed, it's my privilege and pleasure to be the Zone President of Zone 4 for the year 2020, which has been the year of transformation, which has been the year of upgradation for all our achievements or all our experiences and all our talents. Yes, at this juncture, I would first let me welcome our dynamic national leader who is leading JCI India from front, who has transformed the way we look at the pandemic situation. Yes, it is our national president, JC Anish Matthew, sir. We welcome you to Zone 4. He is the person who made us the most busy even during this COVID days. Very warm welcome to our Zone 4. Let us now welcome all the national trainers, the national leaders of JCI India, all the past executive vice presidents, all the past zone presidents who has led an example during their leadership and who are guiding the present and the future leaders of JCI India. I have seen many non-JCs also participating in this session. So it's my privilege and my honor to invite all the non-JCs to the Zone 4 JCI India Zone 4 Business Guru training session. Yes, this is just because of our training guru, Ratnam Sir's training session. He is a leader of leaders, a trainer of trainers, and not only this topic, what business school doesn't teach, he is a master in training the trainers, which no other corporates or no one can teach. He is the master of training the trainers, and also now he is the master in guiding us as a guru in this business guru, which the other business schools doesn't teach. Exactly. I should firstly let me congratulate the president of JCI Rajamandri Srimedha Narayana Swami, a very enthusiastic leader who has been supporting the zone in all ways. Whenever the zone needed his help, he was ready to extend. He has extended a new long, and now he has come up with the business trainings webinar series. Yes, Narayana Swami, a big round of applause to you. I should also convey my gratitude towards the pillars of this LOM. Yes, Rahul sir. Rahul sir, thank you so much for being the zone advisor and also the advisor for our LOM, JCI Rajamandri Srimedha, who has been very choosy in selecting the topics for this business guru webinar series and who has advised them, guided them in getting the best trainers from JCI India. My gratitude to you, sir. And I also, let me put this before you, that JCI Kovur, JCI Rajamandri Rockstars and JCI Srimedha combinedly put their efforts in making any program or any project successful. At this juncture, I would also like to appreciate the efforts of ZVP, past ZVP Krishna Bhaskar, who has been supporting this LOM and very well guiding all the members of this LOM in organizing such a wonderful webinar series. Not the least, I should also recognize the efforts of Fani, Sharif, and mostly the Zone Director Business, Ranjit, who has been constantly motivating all the LOMs in organizing such wonderful projects. Yes, my dear JGB members and dear NP sir, I should really appreciate the efforts of the whole JGB. Just till 3 o'clock, we had our online Zoom meeting just for 5 hours, and they are back within 20 minutes. That is the dedication and the commitment of the zone officers and the zone mentors and the zone advisors of Zone 4. I feel proud of them that I feel really proud that we have such committed leaders for the year 2020, and I feel lucky that this year I have been elected as the zone president. Taking this privilege, once again, I congratulate each one of them, and I welcome. I have seen many people from abroad. I welcome each and every participant, and I assure you that you are the one of the luckiest participants out of this 500 participants. We have reached 200, and only 300 more many opportunities for other 300 people. So members, do participate. Don't miss this opportunity. This is going to be a wonderful session from our Ratnam sir, from our own Guru, Ratnam sir. Thank you so much, dear President, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for such wonderful words, ma'am. Here we have a dynamic leader who converts difficulties into opportunities and shares such benefits to all of us. He is a true leader who has an excellent track record in all streams of leadership and has set new standards in all his assigned portfolios of JCI right from the start of JCI career. I require such a great leader who believes in teamwork makes the dream work. Our beloved National President, JC Anish Matthew sir, to kindly address the participants in few words. Sir, please.
Thank you. Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I love the way you give the floor to me, address your zone members with very small words. I really love that. And obviously, it's true that today there is no meaning of speaking in as being a national president or anyway because our KV Ratnan sir session is going on. People from different parts of India and international are also attending. I know today my speech is not the worthy one. We are really thrilled and happy to hear Ratnan sir. That was our today's great thing. But as being the protocols observed, all protocols observed, ZP, Rahul, PNP Ratnan sir, it's always a pride moment for me. I told when ZP invited me yesterday itself, I told her that don't. She asked me for you just spend 10 minutes to be with us and address the gathering, and you can leave it. But I told, being it's Ratnan sir's session, you don't ask me to leave within 10 minutes. I want to hear something from Ratnan sir because it is always a life learning lessons. The person who takes the sessions, the trainings always from the heart and from the experience which he had acquired in the long journey of this much in this JC Canberra. And very happy and thrilled that still this person is giving service to the organization which has made him a national president in the past years. So thank you, Ratnan sir, be with us. I really remember the first session in my life. I had been to the candidate school of 2018 NatCon. I still remember the words you have tell me, and I still uses the same thing to my piece also. The first one, there is you should avoid one thing first, the excuses part you should avoid this year. That I will tell to my NGB members also. Avoid the part of excuses. That is the first thing you are already taught for us. Thank you so much, sir. And I can see very experienced one of the high-tech techie guy of JC India, Dilip Jain, has been here. It's good to see Dilip Jain also. ZP, my good friend Rahul, all the one Zone 4 is doing very well, and Ratnan Sir's today's sessions will get you. You all know that we JC India is in, or maybe many of our members are in business field. So we really need a setback, a U-turn or a bounce back after this COVID period. It is really required, and I'm sure Ratnan Sir sessions will enable you or you empower you to withstand the whatever situations we are facing after the lockdown period. So I am privileged and proud to be a part of this. Thank you so much for inviting me. Let's hear from the words of, in your words, Garu, Ratnam Garu sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for wonderful words, sir. That they will definitely encourage all of us. Krishna Bhaskar.
We are very happy to share that we have many leaders on the screen for this session. We recognize the presence of all the national governing board officers, all the zone governing board officers from across India, all the long presidents of JCI India, past, present, and future leaders and business people and entrepreneurs who are all attending this session. And I also recognize all the eminent trainers who have attended this session across the JCI India.
Now a pleasant task to JC Amulya. Amulya ma'am. A pleasant task to JC Krishna Bhaskar. Krishna Bhaskar, unmute yourself.
Yes, I have a wonderful privilege to introduce this gentleman. He graduated BTech in Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. He graduated ME in Industrial Engineering. He was the president of Learning System Incorporations, a training and development organization established in 1992. He was a former executive at Bhilai Steel Plant and Visakhapatnam Steel Plant, and now he is running the family business in construction hardware and allied. Now he is running the family business in construction hardware and allied products. He was also consultant to European, Japanese, and American organizations for their business in India. He actively associated with Junior Chamber on the national level. He served as Director Training India in 1989, Director and Editor of Challenge National Magazine in 1990. He was the National Vice President Training in 1991. Dear friends, he was the National President of Junior Chamber in 1994 with 40,000 members all over the country. He was the International Vice President in 1995 and in charge of 26 states of the United States of America, including the Hawaii Islands. He chaired and conducted programs in Latin America, in Paraguay, and officers training seminar at Korea, traveled extensively all over India, 11 nations in Europe, all over Asia, the USA, and South America. He was a certified national trainer in India since 1985. He graduated at the Philippines in 1991 as JCI University Prime graduate. He graduated at Singapore in 1994 as JCI University Excel graduate. Friends, he also graduated at the JCI Academy at Kobe in Japan in 1993. He is invited to the United Nations 50th anniversary at New York in 1995. He trained officers of the United States JCs in Tulsa, USA, National Presidents of Asia Pacific countries at Korea, at Officers Training Seminar, National Academy of Leadership and Administration, Academy of Business Leadership, that is what we call as ABLE, and National Trains the Seminar, Profits, Presidential Academy, and other prestigious seminar. He was also the pilot faculty for JCI India National the Trainer Seminar from 2006 to 2014. Dear friends, he was the guru of gurus, leader of the leaders, and is an eminent personality and role model for many across India. Hereby, I'm introducing the today's faculty, JCI Senator K.V. Ratnam sir.
The most awaited time has come. K.V. Ratnam sir, now the screen is yours. Please, sir.
First of all, I wish to thank our National President, J.C. Anish Matthew, for gracing this occasion and saying a lot of good words about us, about the Zone 4, and all the good work being done by all of us. It is my pleasure that a student who was present in my officers training school is now the leader of the national organization and is conducting so well during these trying times of COVID. Is holding the whole organization so well and using all the means to see that the activity of the country has gone up multiple fold. Today's program is not a one-man's job, it is a teamwork. Rajwandri Srimeda, with the president, secretary, the technical support, all these people coming together, Fani and Sharif and Amulya, and all of them coming together along with Krishna Bhaskar and Rahul. They made this program a reality. All of them being my very good friends. I thought I must share what I learned in my life about the way we do our business. For me, in this program, J.C. Dilip Jain has been very kind to make all the slides and send. And J.C. Sharif made other slides, which is going to include today. Because of their good friendship, my work became easy. All I had to do was ring up and ask them, can you please do this to me? And they said, most willingly, happily, we will be doing it. And they did it. I've given the title, What the Business Schools Don't Teach. My opinion is, after getting a degree from any business school, you will learn the principles, but you will not learn the practices. You need something more than a degree of a business school to learn the practices of doing a business properly. More than a business degree, an MBA or a BBA, what we require is some street smartness and some close guidance and mentoring from those who have already done business. Fortunately, I had my father who learned from his uncle how to do business. And watching my father do it, I learned a lot of things. And even today, I feel what I learned from him is equal to 5 MBA degrees. And I'm fortunate to have the blessings of my father who taught me step by step in every way. Sharif is there? Sharif?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Could you put on the first slide, please?
Okay, sure, sir.
When I finished my post-graduation in industrial engineering after my BTech in electronics and telecommunication engineering, I always had the big idea of starting some industry and running the show, because I did not really know how to start an industry or run an industry, but I had that zeal, I want to do it. Then one day my father called me and said, we already have a running business with us. Would you like to leave this aside? Again, go and start reinventing the wheel and start an industry of your own and grow? Or would you like to take off from here? I said, I would like to take off from here, but before I know what management principles and practices you are going to teach me, I would like to first go into the world and learn from various other professionals how they run their own organizations. With that, he said, all right, go and do whatever you want. Whenever you want, you can come back to business. Then I went across the country, attended so many interviews, got selected for so many organizations, and ultimately settled to work for the Steel Authority of India Limited, at the Bhilai Steel Plant. I was trained there at the Bhilai Management Training Center. And after that, I was posted to the Visakhapatnam Steel Plant, where we were just management trainees. The plant was still coming up, and the management trainee had the powers of a general manager in those days because we were the only people to take things in our hands. So we had extreme powers to do whatever we want in the steel plant, and that increased the confidence that we had in running the show. After working there for a few years, my father asked me, "Do you like to come back to business? Because while I am there, there's a lot you have to learn." I discussed with my wife, who was also an officer of the Visakhapatnam Steel Plant. And both of us decided it's better to learn from the father while he's still eligible to teach us. And then I came back to business. Our business is construction hardware, paints, and another 100 different products. It was established in 1952, and I came sincerely into business in the year 1983. When I came back to business, I came with the big hope that the entire business empire is mine and I can do whatever you want. But my father is a very, very intelligent and learned person. He said, "First, you sign a contract with me. Up to today, whatever business we have, you have nothing to do with it. But from today onwards, after you sign the contract, whatever increase in turnover is there, I will give you a commission." I was surprised because I am the only son in the family and the whole business would one day belong to me. But he said, "Nothing doing. If you sign the contract, I will allow you into the business." So I took the contract and read the contract and I signed it. Then he said, "From today onwards, you're not the boss. First 1 month, you are going to be the lowest employee in the shop. And you cannot instruct anybody anything without my permission." Slowly as days went by, gradually he brought me to a stage where he said, "From today, you can take decisions." That period of time when I went through all these steps from the lowest employee status of the company to the second ranking boss of the company, I've learned so many things of how my people used to do their work. Then I asked him, "Why did you do all these things? I could have sat in the big chair right away from the very first day." And he said, "Some of our staff have been working here for the last 25 years. And you were just born at that time. If all of a sudden you come here and try to tell them that you are their boss, they are not going to accept it. First, you have to prove yourself. And I'm going to give you 1 year's time to prove yourself that you are capable to give instructions to everybody." And I found it very logical. And from that day onwards, I started to learn business in serious, earnest way so that I would be respected by my own staff and the customers. That was how my business career started. Now, business schools teach us a lot of things, but they never teach us how to run a business. They teach us how to become professors and staff members of other companies where we can talk about business, but we cannot do business. And then I learned whatever I'm going to learn from my father will be the real basis for my doing the business. Today, I'm going to share with you some of those concepts. I learned that 3 important people should be our very close friends in our business. First one is your banker. Your banker has to be your very, very good friend. And the banker is the person who is going to stand by you when you suddenly require a lot of amount of money. He's going to be the person who will tell you, "Be careful, watch your steps. don't spend too much. You already have enough stocks with you. Till you deplete some of the stocks, don't go forward. And the banker is one of the best friends I have today, my own banker, Bank of India. They stand by me as if they are my partners in my business. 3 years back, I went to Azerbaijan and I went to the city of Baku. When I was at Baku, I got a message from one of my companies. If you pay 20 lakhs now as advance payment for the company, we are going to give you 50,000 rupees discount. I was across the ocean somewhere near Russia. Then I rang up to my banker and asked him, can you please transfer 20 lakhs of rupees to this company within the next 1 hour? Because if you don't do, I'm going to miss around 50 lakhs of cash discount. You know what my banker said? They said, sir, if we don't do for you, why are we sitting here? In the next 2 hours, they transferred the 20 lakhs of rupees to that particular company, and I enjoyed the 50,000 rupees of cash discount just because the banker happened to be my friend. The fact is, I never had the money in my account. The banker sanctioned a limit of 20 lakhs extra without any surety, without any collateral, and dispatch and remitted the amount to the company. The second person who has to be your very good friend is your auditor or your chartered accountant. The second person. Sharif? Sharif, are you attentive?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The second person who is going to be your good friend is your auditor or your chartered accountant. Our auditors keep telling us how to be honest taxpayers and will guide us with excellent guidance to see that we save on our taxes. We are on time. We don't fall back on our deadlines. So we must have a very good auditor. Some of the laws we don't understand. They're very complicated. But an auditor or a chartered accountant, being a professional, they will be guiding us step by step so that we don't make mistakes and fall in the wrong books of the government. So the second person to be close to you is your auditor or chartered accountant. And the third person who must be your very good friend is the lawyer. A lawyer is always there as a protective umbrella for you. Knowingly or unknowingly, we might take certain wrong steps. And when we do that, he's the person who is going to warn us and say that is not correct. You're trespassing the law. Don't do that. And that guidance is again very necessary to protect our business. So, my dear friend, at the very outset, I want to tell you that these three people must be your very, very good friends. The banker, the auditor or your chartered accountant, and the lawyer. If you have these three as your friends, you're on safe lines for your business. Okay. Any questions still here? Any questions? You can use the chat box. Thank you. Somebody says financial advisor is also needed. Your auditor is going to be your financial advisor. Your banker also is going to be your financial advisor. Okay. Other questions we will ask later, not now. Only on the matter which I've spoken to you now, you can ask any questions. I've divided this session into 3 parts. Sharif, can you show the 3 parts? Okay. Part number 1 of this session will be how to keep learning and keep growing. Every businessman must keep learning if he wants to keep growing. Entry into the business does not mean sit in your chair, sell some items, make some profit, count the money and go back home. That is not business. How to keep learning and keep growing is the first part we are going to do. The second part will be how to reach out to people and reach out to opportunities. People are opportunities. If you know how to reach out to people, you will know how to reach out to opportunities. People means customers, your employees, future customers, people who are your competitors, how to reach out to them. And when you know how to reach out to those, some of you are putting a lot of material in the chat box. Please don't put now. You can, Sharif, can you mute the chat box? Disable the chat box, please. No, previous one. Yeah. And the third one is how to act upon and get results. What is the use of sitting and dreaming when you don't know how to act upon and get the results? So the third part is how to act upon and get results. Three parts: how to keep learning and growing, how to reach out to people and reach out to opportunities, and third is how to act upon whatever you want to do and get results. If we just sit and dream, we are not going anywhere. We will continue to dream only. Okay. Now, when I said first one, how to keep learning and growing, some of you might think, some of you who have high education might think we are well educated, so no problem. Some of you might think I'm not educated. What am I to do? But I want to tell you, Sharif, I want to see the next slide. No, not the millionaire slide. Okay. Every day, 65 new millionaires are born. Leave it. Sharif, leave it. Every day, all over the world, 65 to 70 new millionaires are born. And out of them, 20% of them don't even have a college education. Shall I repeat it? Every day, 65 to 70 new millionaires are born. And out of them, 20% of them don't even have a college education. It simply proves that even without a college education, you can still grow to the top of the world. That is it. You might have heard of Suzuki and various other entrepreneurs who didn't even have a basic education. And when somebody asked Mr. Suzuki, how do you feel you don't have an education? He said, that is my advantage. I don't have an education. So my mind is open. I can allow new ideas to come into my mind. Has it been, if I had only had some education, I would have put in some groove and I would be going only in the groove, thinking only that is correct. But today my mind is open. And he said, not having education was an advantage to him. So education or no education, nothing is going to stop us from growing in the business. Yeah, thank you. See, 20% of millionaires never studied in any college or university. Their street smartness, the guidance of their mentors, their own decisions at crucial times, their risk-taking ability, they are the ones that made them grow into millionaires. Okay, whether we have. So I just want to tell you, whether we have education or no education, nothing to bother. We can grow in business. Now I want to ask you a question. Many times in our training programs, we have heard of one phrase, leading yourself to success. And now I want to know from you, what is the meaning of leading yourself to success? Leading yourself to success. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of leading yourself to success? Are we going to tie a rope to our neck and we keep taking ourselves forward? Is somebody going to hold our hands and take us forward? What is the meaning of this leading yourself? So I want you to listen very carefully, this particular part. Nobody is going to lead us to success. We are going to lead ourselves to success. And how do we lead ourselves to success? Is there any train to success, or a flight to success, or a car taking us to success, or a walk towards success, or run towards success? No. Moving ourselves, leading us to success starts like this. We must learn to question ourselves. I'm repeating this. We must learn to question ourselves certain questions. And these questions will lead us forward to success. Success will be a sort of a destination. When we reach that, then we'll know, okay, I've succeeded in this. But what is moving us towards this success is the questions that we ask ourselves. Whatever we are doing now, whatever we are, the chat box can be muted, please. A lot of things coming up in my way. Please don't use the chat box for anything until I ask you to answer. Otherwise, it's going to be a sort of a disturbance on the screen. Now, the questions that we ask us will lead us to success. Not all questions, certain types of questions. Now, I am doing business and I've reached a certain level of business. Now, if I want to lead myself to higher level of success, the question, if I ask myself a question, can I succeed anymore? Will I be able to succeed? Those questions don't help us in any way. Instead, we have to ask ourselves questions like, what should I do to increase my turnover from here to there? What should I do? The moment I ask this question, what should I do? Then answers keep coming to me. You have to increase your customer database. You have to increase the number of walk-ins into your shop. You have to increase your friendly promotional calls to your friends. You have to get up from your seat and go to another 3 more industries in our district. You have to become a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Answers like this should come out. So if you want to lead yourself to success, you must learn how to ask your questions. I don't give the answers importance. I give the questions more importance. Questions are the ones that lead us forward, not the answers. A lot of people have those answers. But when I start developing the habit of asking myself question after question after question that can lead me higher and higher, those answers will help me look at my destination. Where am I going to reach? So practice questioning yourself in ways that give you answers to go forward. Most of our people do not question themselves. They are comfortable, they sit there and they enjoy whatever they're getting. And in the process, they forget to grow bigger and bigger. When I joined business, one thing I learned from my father was, the power of discipline. Discipline doesn't mean military discipline. Discipline means saying what you want to say and standing by that strongly, whatever you said. If I say I will do this, yeah, you can bring the other one, questioning. Sharif? Yeah, this is question. Sharif, I want you to give me a little more attention.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is, question your way to success. Okay. Now, when I started the business, when I went into the business, I learned that discipline is one of the most important things that will increase your self-respect. Discipline doesn't mean military discipline, but discipline means telling what you want to do and doing it without fail. Like if I say, I'm entering my office by 9 a.m. every day, then we enter at 9 a.m. sharp every day. All those people around us should be able to correct their watches. This man has come, it is 9 a.m. That is one way of showing them discipline. And another discipline which I can boast about my own company is, my staff are so attentive that no telephone ever rings more than twice. Before the telephone rings a second time, it is picked up by my staff. If by any chance the phone is not picked up in the second time, it means it's a holiday for the shop. Or the telephone is not working. But second, if nobody is picking up for the first time, they come running. If nobody is there around, they come running to pick it up. And that is the discipline they have learned. And if they say we are going to answer any customer tomorrow afternoon because we don't have the data, the next day afternoon, the data goes to them. That is a discipline. If they want leave on the next day, they will be telling one day before, tomorrow morning, I want leave. That is a discipline. The entire area of the table must be clean, cleared of clutter. Only those items which we use must be there. That is also discipline. If the table is cluttered, the mind is cluttered. If the mind is cluttered, proper decisions can't be taken. This is one discipline. And the most important discipline is knowing your priorities. When we get money, we have to understand the money is not ours. We are only the trustees of that money because a lot of people own that money. I'm not talking of partners. If I get 10,000 rupees in a day, the 10,000 is not my money to spend. That 10,000 rupees, number one, it belongs in the form of tax. It has a component known as the tax that is paid to the government. So part of it belongs to the government. A part of it belongs to those who have supplied material to me, my vendors. Those who supply the material to me. So part of material belongs to them. Another part of the material belongs to the salaries of my staff. Another part belongs to the administrative expenditure, like electricity charges, rents, and other payments to be made. And only then, if something is still remaining, it belongs to me. The whole amount is not mine. The day we understand this discipline, that the money that comes into your hands is not completely yours, only a small part is yours, then your responsibility increases because of your discipline. I'm following this system. That is why I'm able to tell you how important is the system. And if you can inculcate this type of discipline into your business also, the respect for your business increases like anything. I want to ask you one question, my dear friends, and please open the chat box and I want to see the answers. Sharif, you're going back in the slides, which is not necessary. The question is this. Listen carefully. Are you happy making money, or making money makes you happy? I'm repeating that question. Are you happy making money, or making money makes you happy? What is your philosophy? Okay. Yes. Both are not the same. There is a big difference. There is a very big difference. I'm repeating that question. Are you happy making money? Means you're making money, you're very happy. Or making money makes you happy. That means continuously making money, and that gives you happiness. That is dangerous to you. I'm happy, I'm making money that is useful for me, and I'm living happily. But if the process of making money makes me happy and I get addicted to it, I'll be making money that makes me happy. But there is a huge price I'm going to pay for making only money. Did you understand? Say yes if you understood the concept. Okay, thank you. A lot of you said yes, you understand. Only one said not understood. Okay. If I get what I want, I'm happy. If I get a little more than what I want, I'm happy. But if the process of making money is what is making me happy, I'll only be making money. And in the process, I'll be paying a very, very high price. Because if I become a money-making machine, the price I will be paying will be, I might cheat people because I want to make money, more and more money. I might forget my family because I'm busy making money. I forget to enjoy my life because I'm very, very busy making money. So making money is not important, but being happy with what you're making is very important. For that, we need to set a line, draw a line. Say, this is what I'm going to make this year. A lot of people don't understand this concept, and a lot of people think it's foolish. So they keep running to make more. And they don't know what is more, because the more you get, the more you want. The more you get, the more you want. And the more you want, you forget living happily. Have you understood this concept, please? Say yes. I want to drive this concept into your mind. Thank you. The idea here is being happy is more important than making money. Understood? Yeah, okay. Okay, you can disable the chat box. The concept here is, we do our business, we make money to make ourselves happy. But if you're only running behind making money, you'll forget being happy. And I don't want you to forget being happy. I want you to make money and be happy. Being happy means you must know your priorities. What are your priorities? Any businessman's priority, or rather anybody's priority. Priority number one, family. Your family, not anything else, is priority number one. Second priority is also your family. Third priority is also your family. Up to number 10, your priority is your family. Only then the other things will come. Family, 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 family. 10 times you say that. That is your priority. The happiness of your family, the association with your family, the attachment with your family, the happiness of your family is the top priority for anybody. And then after the 11th, you do whatever you want. Make money, do your business, increase your business, run for your business. But the top 10 priorities are family, family, family. If we know this principle, how important it is to keep everybody happy, then we will know what to make in our life, what amount of money to make in our lives. As a businessman, today, I can't depend on everybody. So I must learn how to do everything in my business. And only then I allocate the work to my staff. But I must know what my staff is doing. If I don't know, they will be doing what they want, and I don't know how to find out what they do. So I must learn all the areas of my business. We had Sharu Rangnekar, a very famous management consultant. He used to address us the steel plant in Bhilai. And he told us one principle. If you are the sweeper in your company, you must know how to sweep the floors properly. If you are the supervisor of that sweeper, you must know how to sweep the floor like the sweeper as well as supervise the sweeper. You must know sweeping as well as supervising. And if you are the manager of that company, you must know how to sweep the floor like the sweeper. You must know how to supervise the sweeper, and you must know how to manage the supervisor and the sweeper. As you grow higher and higher in your hierarchy, you must know every job below you which the people under you are doing. Only then and only then you will be able to question them whether they're doing properly or not. In the Ford Motor Company, the chief of the company, when his son came, he is the future owner of multi-million-dollar worth companies. And when he completes his college and comes back, he has to be the watchman for 1 week. He has to sweep the floors for 1 week. He has to clean the toilets for 1 week. And only then he gets the eligibility to enter the boardroom. He must know what the people under him are undergoing. What are their problems? He must eat in the canteen of the employees, lowest employees, for 1 week. And only then he can join the board of directors in their lunchroom. But he must have a picture of what is going on below. This is the biggest learning before you become the boss of your own company. And that is the only way to grow. We must know what people are doing below us. Now, another beautiful aspect of business is, because business is mainly dealing with money. So you must know the three things, most important three things about accounts. One is, how much are you getting? How much are you spending? And third, what is remaining for you? These are the three simple things which you must know. How much are you getting? How much are you spending? And how much is being with you at the end of the day? If you don't know these three, you think you are doing business, at the end you'll burn your fingers. There are a lot of Marwadi companies in West Bengal, Calcutta. They follow a totally different account system, not like our normal account system, the tally system or the bookkeeping system. They don't do that. They have large red color books. Every day by the evening, they will decide whether the company is in profit or loss. Every day of the evening. They write all the incomes they received on the day. They subtract all the expenditure they made the day, and whatever they say is today's profit is, which is not correct, but today's profit is. Every day they want to show plus. Please don't use the chat box, my friend. Please don't use the chat box till I ask you to use it. So every day they may have plus, they may have minus, no problem. But every day they will know what is coming, what is going, and what is remaining. And some days they may spend more than what they earn. But the end of the year, they will add up all these things and they will know whether they made or did not make anything. This is an age-old system which even today, many of the Marwadi companies in Calcutta follow it. Every day, they will know plus or minus, they will say. So the accountant goes to the big boss and says, sir, today plus 25,000 rupees. Tomorrow, sir, plus 1,49 lakhs. Next day he goes and says, today minus 10 rupees, sir. So every day he has to go and tell the figure. Sharif, please disable the chat box. A lot of people raising hands, and which I said I will answer at the end, not now.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Nagiredi, please don't use the chat box. Naresh, you also don't use the chat box. Otherwise, I won't have that flow. Suddenly somebody says something and okay, let me go in the flow which I'm doing and I'll answer all your questions at the end. Now, in our accounting system, we must know very, very clearly day to day, how much do we owe somebody? How much somebody owes to us? These are the two things which we need to follow day by day. And there are 4 ways in which people do business. 4 ways. One way is they buy on credit and sell on cash basis. That means he can pay his vendor after 1 month, but today he is going to get cash. The second type is they buy on credit and selling on credit. The third is buying on cash and selling on cash. The fourth is buying on cash and selling on credit. Now, can you tell me which is the best way out of these 4 ways? Credit, cash, credit, or cash? Yeah, please open the chat box. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, fine. Obviously, buying on credit and selling on cash is the best way. If you are a businessman with integrity and the customer is ready to pay cash, buy on credit and give on cash. But the danger is, don't presume the cash is yours till you clear all your liabilities. Okay. What is the worst way of doing business? Please put in the chat box out of this 4. What is the worst way? Sharif garu, meer answer chekandi. Let the others answer. Since you are the host, you don't answer. Let the others answer. Open the chat box. What is the worst way out of these 4 ways? Credit cash or credit credit? Cash credit or cash cash? Okay. Okay, stop it. Please disable the chat box. Yes. Obviously, buying with cash and selling on credit to somebody. That means you are paying, but you don't know whether you'll get payment or not. So all of us should learn to do business on buying on credit and selling on cash. And try to avoid as far as possible buying on cash and selling on credit, unless you are sure of the company that pays you after some time. You know, in all these ways, we have forgotten one very, very vital factor. Can you please tell me what is that vital factor? Yeah, in the chat box, please. Krishna Swami, excellent. Profit. What is the, yeah, you can disable the box. Already got the answer from Krishna Swami. Profit. If you don't get profit, what is the use of buying on credit and selling on cash? If you don't get profit, what is the use of buying on cash, selling on credit? Those young businessmen who are in the market today do not know the importance of profit, reasonable profit. Otherwise, what is the use of doing business? Profit is vital. The profit should not be too high, should be to take care of your expenses and running the show. And that is when we can stand in the business area properly. Okay. I will ask you a question again. Which is the highest sold product in terms of value in the whole world? Chat box, please. Which is the highest sold product in terms of value? No, not gold, not gold. Not entertainment, not trust, not diamonds. Yes, somebody said petrol. Petrol is the highest sold product in terms of value, which they call gasoline. And what is the second highest valued product sold all over the world? Second highest? No, not gold. Mangesh, gold shop undet meeku. Mangesh is always saying gold, gold, gold. Okay, which is the second highest value product sold all over the world? Not even earth. Product, it's a product. Coffee. Coffee is the second highest valued product sold all over the world. Okay, all right. Now, here you have to learn how to use your abilities, how to use your staff, and how to use your mind to determine what is important. What is important is not money. What is important is family. That is the priority. You're earning money to keep everybody happy. I will go to the next concept on how to reach out. I'll do it quickly because a lot of time has already been covered here. How to reach out. Sharif, can you show me the hot air balloon picture? How to reach out. Sharif? Yes. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, keep that on. Don't change. You might have identified this. These are hot air balloons. There is a balloon at the top filled with helium gas, and there is a basket at the bottom in which you can sit down, and there is a blow lamp, a torch that keeps burning into the balloon and gets heated up. When it gets heated up, it goes up in the air. When it cools, it comes down. But one special thing about the balloon is it does not have an engine. It does not have propellers. An aeroplane has an engine and propellers. So can aeroplane choose its direction? An aeroplane, if somebody says it's not audible, is it audible? Is it audible? Please raise your thumb if it's audible. Okay, thank you. An aeroplane has an engine and propeller. So it goes forward or whichever direction it wants. But a hot air balloon has no engine, has no propeller. So how does it go in a particular direction? Can anybody guess how it goes, where it wants to go? If it starts from Visakhapatnam, it wants to go to Bombay, it can go straight to Mumbai. How do they go? No engine, no propellers. But if they want to go from Visakhapatnam to Mumbai, they will go from Visakhapatnam to Mumbai. What is their technique? It's a very, very, very special, knowledgeable technique. Mangesh says they will heat up. If they heat up, they will go upwards. If they cool, they come down. Windy direction is not in our hands. If wind direction is in our hands, you need propellers to change the direction. They don't have propellers. How do they do it? No, weight will make them go up and down, but not the direction they want. No weights. Okay, listen, I will tell you what they do. The Kuchochi and the compass. The compass will tell you which direction they are going, but they can't go in any direction they want. No throttle. Throttle is only to increase the speed. Throttle won't take them in a direction. Okay. Now listen carefully. Are you ready? Yeah, switch off the chat box, please. Now listen to this very carefully. This is helpful to you to increase the speed of your business. Now listen carefully. The air above our head is in the form of layers. 100 feet above, the air will be flowing from east to west. At the same time, 200 feet above that, the air will be flowing from west to east. At the same time. So it is not that the whole air is flowing in one go like that. Some goes like this, above that it goes like this, above that it goes like this, above that it goes like this. So there are many layers above our head, and each layer, the air flows in one specific direction. So these people have equipment to find out at what height the air is going in the direction they want to travel. And they will increase the heat and go to that particular layer. When they reach that layer, they will start going towards that direction. And then they find air there is changing. They will again find out at what height the air is moving in the direction they want. And they will come down to that height, or they will go first higher. But they will always choose the direction of the layer that is taking them towards that particular direction. So it is always moving into the right orbit, and the orbit decides which direction they go. So they have to keep an eye on where their required wind direction is flowing, and they go and stand in that particular area, and the wind keeps flowing. Did you understand? Just put yes in the chat box if you understood that. Sharif, are you there? Okay. Now, if you understand this, how is it going to help us in business? I want you to see that this helps us in a business. Yeah, you can. You can disable the chat box. Now, how is this going to help us in our business? Now, I want to take my business in a particular direction. I want to bring in some electronic products. I want to sell these things of a particular turnover. Then what I have to do is, I have to keep checking who are the people who are already doing this much better than what I'm doing. And I have to move myself into their orbit and make friendship with them. I must go closer to them. They might be part of Rotary Club of Visakhapatnam, or they might be part of Chamber of Commerce of Visakhapatnam. Such people are there. Now I have to go and join those organizations. And I have to make friendships with them. And I must take help from them. Just as the balloon chooses the height it wants to move in the direction it wants, we as businessmen must also shift our height and depth to go and reach where people are already doing this, where wind is already flowing in that. And if that is done, I don't need an engine. All I need is support from them. Take their help, learn from them. Okay. All right. Now, this is how we reach out to people to reach out for new opportunities. That is the second part. Reach out to people to reach out for opportunities. Have you understood that? Now you have to keep looking. Where are the people who have already got what I want in my life? Where are those people? And if I can find some people who already have what I want in my life, what stops you from making friendship with them and watching them, how they are doing it? Okay. So hot air balloon technology, hot air balloon system is something that is going to help you in your business to increase to the height to go in the direction you want. Okay. If you want to reach out to people, you must learn to appear in front of them as an expert. As an expert. Now, if you want to do business in diamonds, you must do a little bit of research about diamonds and start writing articles in newspapers and magazines. And when you are doing that, a lot of people who are in that trade will start considering you as a person who knows about this because you have done your research, and will start coming closer to you. There is a saying in Zen Buddhism, when the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. When the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. Automatically the teacher appears. I want to learn something, I want to grow something, I want to grow in something. The teacher appears automatically. It works. For me, it worked a lot of times. I want to learn a subject. The people who are experts in those subjects came closer to me. And I don't know, this is a nature's wonder, miracle. It's a miracle. Deeply think in your mind what you want to do, and the people who are already doing it will come closer. What more is needed? Such a great opportunity. And another way of reaching out to people is most beautiful in our junior chamber. We have opportunities to attend conferences at the local level, zone level, national level, Asia Pacific level, and world level. The beauty is the subscription for fee of our JCs. I have not found any other subscription lower than this. Ours is the lowest subscription. Only we have to reach out to people, attend conferences. When we attend conferences, most often we stay with our own friends. We don't go out. Now, what you have to do next time you go to an Asia Pacific conference or a World Congress, leave your group, start going out, meet people from different parts of the world, exchange your cards, give your card, make your card something very special that he doesn't misplace it. Write about yourself on the back of the card, your address, email on the other side, your picture on one side, and what you want. You write there, I want to meet people doing this business, and give it to him. It will be recorded on the card. Whether he's doing or not, when he finds somebody doing, he said, hey, I have a friend who came from India who wants to do this business. Would you like to correspond with him? And he gives it. That is how to make your business card. Photograph, corresponding details at the back, what you can give and what you want. This works wonders. Today I have so many contacts all over the world because I put in writing what I want. That helps a lot. Redesign your business cards. But your photograph must be there because they forget our faces. Just like we cannot differentiate between one Chinese and another Chinese, or one Japanese and another Japanese. They also cannot. They find all of us looking same. So your photograph has to be there. And occasionally send a courtesy email. Hi, I'm so-and-so. So-and-so is here. These are some of the important things that are happening in my society, in my city. Just put one corresponding mail for them. That keeps those particular contacts. This is how to reach out for people which will reach out for opportunities. First you reach people, and through people you have opportunities. I had the privilege of representing JCI World at the United Nations. As a JCI Vice President, I was given one of the important dinner tables, and they choose who is going to sit beside whom. And beside me, the Asia Pacific chief of Anderson Consulting was sitting. I didn't know who he was. He gave me his card, and so he was the Asia Pacific chief of Anderson Consulting. I gave him my card and said, I'm into this business and I would like to improve my business. He said, at that particular time, I was around 37 years old and he was around 60. And he told me, you know what is the secret of doing business? I said, what? Tell me. He said, the secret of doing business is first making friendships. That is the first step. After making friendships, that will blossom into business. So don't do business, and tell your friends also not to start doing business networking. Make friendships. If the person likes you, he will be in contact with you. And he will be the gateway for you to open up many opportunities. I have opened up 3 such opportunities in Japan through friends whom I met during dinner time. And I really thank Junior Chamber for presenting a new world of opportunities for me. If not for Junior Chamber, I would not have been able to do that, for which I'm very grateful to this organization. And only because of that, I continue to stay active, because there is a lot I have to give back to this organization in my lifetime. Finally, as time is running out, third and most important part. The third part is how to don't just sit, act upon to get results. Don't just sit and dream. For that, there is a saying, it's a Polish proverb. They say, don't push the river, it will flow by itself. Don't push the river, it will flow by itself. All that happened was there was a gradient. And when the gradient was there, the water starts flowing. Nobody has to push it. In business also, we have to establish channels. Channels where the flow of goods from us to them and the flow of payments from them to us. To make these particular channels, do not miss joining any organization, worthwhile organization in your city. Whether it is Rotary or Lions or JCs or roundtables or any chambers of commerce, go and become a member of that particular organization and attend all those meetings which they have. To make these things flow towards us, our integrity is of utmost importance. The trust that you develop with people will always bring them close to you because they will trust you and your uprightness and integrity. They know you're not going to cheat. So one policy that you can put, which I have in my policies, let them buy anything today. Let them return anytime they want if they feel the product has failed to work. There is no time limit. Company may give 1 year warranty or 1 year guarantee, but we give lifetime guarantee. We may lose money on that, but we gain so much of trustworthiness from the customer. And by word of mouth, they tell in such a shop, when we bought something and we returned after 3 years, they still took back and gave the money. After all, how many people return? Maybe 1 or 2 in 2 or 3 years, or maybe 10 in 5 years. It is worth losing that money. And that is how we need to build up our integrity. What all we learned is limitless. What all I remember in what I learned in my business, I'm telling you. The Zen Buddhist Confucius, you must have heard his name, he said, the essence of all knowledge is having it to apply it. There is no point in only possessing knowledge. We have to apply it wherever we are. And what all we are going to learn is limitless. But what all we learn, we must start applying in our business. Now, these are the things which I have not seen in any MBA or any business school. They talk of principles which are applicable in general. But for specific big businessmen to increase their integrity and uprightness, we need to follow these particular principles. Ultimately, it is not the product we are going to sell. Remember, it is we are going to sell ourselves. If they like us, they come to us to buy a product. If they trust us, they come to us to buy a product. It is not the product. We are the products we have to sell. A good businessman understands that I am the product. If I sell myself, I can do business with integrity. And I will never let myself a duplicate product. I will always keep myself an original product. And that, my friends, I wanted to share with you a few thoughts. It's already 5:15. The time given to me is till now. If you have any questions for 5 or 10 minutes, you can ask me questions.
What a great session, sir. Session definitely includes the topics which are not taught at business school. It was a very neat, simple, and powerful learning session with examples like airborne wonders. Sir Ratnam, sir, how do we take the questions through chat box, or can we ask them to ask directly?
See, the version we have do not have a question answers box. I think chat box only we should go.
Or if you want, we can also unmute them and
orally, yeah. If you can ask one by one clearly, I will answer. Okay. Those who want to ask, can anybody moderate? Mangesh or Sharif, can you moderate?
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir. We're supporting. Yes, sir.
Yeah, who is doing it?
I'm doing it, sir.
Who is you?
Sharif.
Sharif, okay, please.
Sir, Krishna Swami garu raised the hand, sir.
Okay, Krishna Swami Garu from Rajmundry, okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Krishna Swami.
సార్ మీ క్లాస్ మాకు చాలా బాగా నచ్చింది సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ అలాట్. జయశీష్, నా క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చి వెస్ట్ బెంగాల్ వాళ్ళు మీరు రెడ్ బుక్స్ పాత రెడ్ బుక్
మీరు కొంచెం దూరంగా పెట్టుకొని కొద్దిగా గట్టి మాట్లాడండి.
వెస్ట్ బెంగాల్ వాళ్ళు అదే జస్ట్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఈ మార్వాడీస్ బుక్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారని చెప్పారు కదా సార్. ఏ రోజు ఆ రోజు ప్రాఫిట్ మీరు వేస్తారని చెప్పారు కదా, అంటే ఎప్పుడో కొన్నదానికి ఇప్పుడు మైనస్ చేస్తారా లేక ఎలా సార్ అది?
ఏ రోజు ఆ రోజు ఎంత వచ్చింది ఎంత పోయింది, ఏ రోజు ఆ రోజు ఎంత వచ్చింది ఎంత పోయింది అంతే. అది యాక్చువల్ గా ప్రాఫిట్ అండ్ లాస్ కాదు, కానీ ఆ రోజుకి మిగిలిందా హెచ్చిపోయిందా అది వాళ్ళు కన్నేసి చూస్తారు, దాని మీద చూస్తారు.
అంటే పోయిందా అంటే లైక్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఎవరికైనా పేమెంట్ చేసింది మైనస్ లో వచ్చింది మైనస్
అవుతుంది. ఏమన్నా కొన్నా మైనస్ అవుతుంది, అది అసెట్ కొన్నా మైనస్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే సార్, ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
అది వాళ్ళ సిస్టమ్ అంతే. మామూలుగా వేరే అకౌంట్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు, కానీ ఏ రోజుకి ఆ రోజు వాళ్ళకి తెలియాలా వచ్చిందా పోయిందా, వచ్చిందా పోయిందా.
అంటే ఒక 100 రూపాయలు అమ్మారు, 1000 రూపాయలు పేమెంట్ చేశారంటే మైనస్ 900 రాసుకుంటారు. ఆ ప్రొడక్ట్ సంబంధం
మైనస్ అంటాడు, బాస్ చూస్తాడు మైనస్ ఎందుకైంది, అరే వచ్చింది 100 వచ్చింది ఖర్చు పోయింది కదా రేపు జాగ్రత్త చూసుకో అని చెప్తాడు.
ఓకే సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ, క్లియర్.
షరీఫ్ గారు చెప్పండి.
Friends, those who want to ask questions, you can please raise your hand and they will be given the privilege.
Already 6 people have raised their hands, but the privilege is not being given to them.
Sir, a very happy evening, sir. Padmesh here. As usual, it's an amazing session by you. Very, very happy to hear to you every time. It's every time new information, new perspectives for the problems. Thank you so much. Small question. How do we differentiate?
Big question you can ask. No need a small question, you can ask big question also.
How do we differentiate between a businessman and an entrepreneur?
Come again, please.
How do we differentiate between an entrepreneur and a businessman?
Oh, wonderful. A businessman usually is related to trading. Okay, an entrepreneur looks for new opportunities and new openings also. Antra means enter. Okay, antra, E-N-T-R-E, antra means enter. They enter into new areas. If you permit me, I'll tell you one thing. I know a businessman who does normal trading. After some time, instead of selling products, he started acquiring companies, adding value, increasing the company's production and selling back the companies to others. We are doing only for products. They are doing for companies also. He's an entrepreneur. Hello?
Appaji garu.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Sir, namaste. Appaji andi, Rajmundry.
Chappandi Appaji garu.
Sir, great session, sir. Thank you very much.
Question
Yeah, I'm coming to that. In the era of use and throw, like that is the culture that we are developing. It's already there now. How do you define the loyalty now? Because earlier, suppose if I got one good quality product from Vizag, I used to rush all the way from here to there and get it. And now it's all the use and throw affair. I will just get it anywhere and I use it for some time and get rid of it. How do you define loyalty now?
Appaji, I understand your question. Both still exist. People who are loyal to products also exist. People who love to buy and throw use and throw products also exist. For example, you take a pen. You will take a Link pen, which is 1 rupee 50 paisa. You will use it and throw. There are also people who still go for Pilot or Montblanc or Schaefer's or Parker, costing 25,000 rupees per pen also there. Such loyalties also there. I'm a pen collector. I have pens costing around 50,000, a lakh of rupees with me still. But I also use 1 rupee, 2 rupees pens for my general use. So both are still existing depending upon your utility. Loyalty as well as use and throw, both are existing fully. Now, we also buy 100 rupees shirts in the market. We also go to Raymond's to buy 1,500 rupees shirt. Because the quality of Raymond's is Raymond's. The quality of an export rejection shirt, 100 rupees, is also 100 rupees. Both are there. Okay, Appaji garu?
Purna Chandra Rao.
Hello. Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, Purnachandra Rao, sir, Buildtech.
Chapandi Buildtech.
Sir, section is...
Renderock plug.
Thank you very much, sir, recognizing. Very much.
Renderock plug, na?
Avun, sir, ante, sir, ade. Sir, I feel that section is very good. I need that business like a balloon, what you're saying, the direction of the balloon, the business. Is the startup business you're telling or the existing business which we can do?
Any time you want to change the pace of your business.
Yeah.
Are you in the right orbit or are you in the wrong orbit? If you are not going in the direction you want, it means you're in the wrong orbit. Then you have to check which orbit will take you more towards what direction you want. And you must change your orbit. When you change your orbit, it means you must change the environment of your friends around you. You must choose, handpick your friends who are already moving in that direction. Okay?
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Good. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kamlakar.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Kamalakar, tell me.
So I wanted to ask a question. When you are
a little
doing
louder, Kamalakar, voice is very low.
When you are doing in business very good, if you suddenly have...
Little louder, Kamalakar, louder, please.
Is it not good? Hello? Is it okay now?
Not very okay. Okay, carry on.
Okay. When you are doing good in your business, suddenly you have some kind of a hardship in the family. How to balance the family and as well as the business together?
The voice is breaking, Kamalakar.
Can I chart, put a chart, sir, otherwise? Hello?
Yeah. Or you come after 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe something wrong with your bandwidth there.
Last 2 questions.
Mr. Atul.
Yeah.
Mr. Atul.
Okay, proceed to the next person.
Hello, sir.
Sharif Garu, please proceed to the next person.
Hello, sir.
Mr. Radha.
Hello, sir.
Sorry.
JC Pravina, sir.
Pravina, yes, Pravina. Pravina.
Can you hear me, sir?
Pravina, you are the advocate in the real estate business, are you?
No, sir. Sir, I am your student in
Okay,
NTTS.
Pravina, entities. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, tell me, Pravina. Vizag
Sir,
entities. Bangalore entities.
Yeah,
Bangalore
Bangalore
entities.
entities.
Okay.
So when we were talking about the priorities, you told that family, 10 times we have to look into the family.
Yes.
So, family relationships are very important. But when we are concentrating on family, we are not able to give the whole concentration in the business also. So can you please give little clarity about it?
Yeah, that is why I asked you one question. That is, are you happy making money or making money gives you happiness? Okay.
Yeah.
If totally engrossed in making money and you will pay a high price in terms of distancing yourself from the family. when you understand why are we making money? To lead a happy life. And happy life means you and your family. Happiness of the entire family is of vital importance, not just you alone. If your family is unhappy, what do you do with all the money that you have? You earn money to live happily with your family. Okay? If there is something that the family needs that needs priority, there is no second thought about this. But you have to share your time in such a way that everything gets attention. But the topmost attention goes to the family only. Am I audible? Did you hear?
Sainath Gupta.
Yes,
Sir.
Sainath. Yes.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Sir, really,
sir.
it's a wonderful session, sir. Sir,
Yeah, what question you want to ask?
సార్ నాకు ఒక చిన్న క్వశ్చన్ ఉంది సార్ బిజినెస్ దీంట్లో
చెప్పండి.
కాంపిటీషన్ అంటున్నాం కదా ప్రతి ఒక్క ప్రోడక్ట్ కి కాంపిటీషన్ ఉంటుంది కదా సార్ ఆ కాంపిటీషన్ నేను నాకన్నా ఒక రూపాయి తక్కువ ఇస్తానంటాడు ఇక్కడ ఈ కాంపిటీషన్ లో ప్రైస్ అంటే ఆ ప్రోడక్ట్ కి మనం అంటే మార్జిన్ కి మనం వాల్యూ ఇవ్వాలా లేకపోతే వాడు బార్గెన్ చేస్తున్నది అంటే ప్రైస్ కి మనం వాల్యూ ఇవ్వాలా
Each one has to decide on the merit of the individual case. There is no one standard rule. First, you have to check whether a competitor is giving at a lower price because he is unable to sell the product or because he has monetary obligations with the bank and he has to clear them. Is he underselling because he is unable to hold so much product? You have to find out. Then you have to find out, are you taking much more margin than which is normally required? Or are you buying from not a real source, from a second source who is also enjoying a margin on that? Is your competitor selling a little spurious product at a lower price? Is your product having more standards and certifications than what he has? You have to check all the things, not just price alone. Okay, Sainath?
Mr. Atul.
Last question, Divyanshu. Yes, Divyanshu.
Sir, good evening, sir. I'll stick to the question. The question is, sir, in the starting of the session, you had told us that we should have good relationship with our banker. So, any tips on how we can build good relationship for a fresh business?
With the banker or what?
Yes, sir, with the banker. Like, we should have the three best friends for a businessman are his banker, auditor, and a lawyer. So, how do we establish good for a person who's starting his own business, a person who's fresh into the business? How can he build his relationship with the banker in a good way? Like, any tips?
Of course. See, when you go to open a current account, they won't just open a current account for you for any new business. They look forward some recommendations from some people.
Yes.
Somebody who is already running a good business with a particular bank, you must take them along with you, who will recommend you, and they will sign on your application form that they stand guarantee for you. And you must live up to those guarantees for at least a couple of 2 or 3 years when the banker will develop confidence in you.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. All your payments, even your civil rating is very important to identify whether they can trust you or not.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The very first thing they will open and see your civil rating. Your PAN number will immediately show them where you stand as far as your financial integrity is concerned. So bank wants to know about our financial discipline. Can we be trusted? Can he put some money in our hands and then trust us? Okay. Okay, Divyanshu.
Dear past national president. Sir, can I?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, not the question, sir. We are going to the next.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Dear past national president of JCA India, JC Rajesh Chandra, sir. We are honored by your presence. Kindly speak on this occasion, sir. Dear past Zone President, Zone 5, CA Rohit Maheshwari Garu, we are delighted to have you here, ma'am. Kindly speak on this occasion.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity. It was a great privilege to listen to our own leader, mentor, Ratnam, sir. It is always a privilege to hear to him. The man with his own words, with his style and minimal PPT, I'll say. Even in JCI webinar, he was without his PPTs and was the biggest, everybody learned from him. Thank you so much, sir, for the practical insight out for business. And surely businesses are going to suffer and we are going to go back to the business with full energy and we need a lot of motivation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Rohit.
Dear age trainer JC Kumar Jitpalwar, sir, we are extremely happy to have your presence here. So kindly speak on this occasion, sir. Sir, you are unmuted, sir.
Yeah, let him speak again. We have not heard anything.
Funny next.
Okay, sir. Dear Zone President, ma'am, this is Aisa, ma'am. We are happy to have you here. Kindly speak on this occasion, ma'am.
ఎస్ యాజ్ యూజువల్ రత్నం సార్ సెషన్ అంటేనే మనకి తెలిసిందే పీపీటీ అవసరం ఉండదు అండ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్తో సార్ చెప్పిన ప్రతి ఒక్క పాయింట్ కూడా చాలా యూస్ఫుల్గా ఉంటుంది అండ్ సార్ సెషన్కి నేను గ్రేడ్ చేసే అంత స్థాయిలో నేను ఉండనని అనుకుంటాను బట్ ఐ థ్యాంక్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ లీడర్ who have participated in and each and every trainer who have participated in this training session. Thank you so much for being with us in Zone 4 and thank you so much Ratnam sir. మీరు చెప్పిన ప్రతి మాట కూడా ఒక ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఒక ఫాదర్ చెప్పినట్టు మీరు చెప్పినట్టు అలానే అనిపించింది బికాస్ చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి కూడా బిజినెస్ ఫ్యామిలీలో పెరిగిన అమ్మాయిని నేను I have been born and brought up in a business family and each and every point I was just recalling with my what my father has done or with my husband what he is doing right now. Yes sir, the inputs are very much valuable and thank you so much for your session. Thank you sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear National President JC Anish Matthew, sir, we are very happy to have you here in this session. Sir, please kindly speak on this occasion, sir.
Sir is not there, I think.
Now,
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, oath of thanks by JC Principal.
We thank our today's faculty trainer, JC KV Ratnam, sir. We thank our national president, JC Anish Matthew, sir. We thank all our past national presidents of JCI India, current national executive committee members, all past executive vice presidents, past zone presidents across all over JCI India, our current zone president, JC Rajita Pusarla, ma'am. We thank all our current national governing board members of JCI India, all past national governing board members of JCI India, all the past and current zone officers of all the zones across India. We also thank the LOM presidents of all the zones across JCI. We also further thank all the other participants and leaders and non-JCs who attended this webinar and made it a huge success. We finally thank for making this day and the 7-day business webinar series, Business Guru, to a mega graduation program. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Team Rajmandri, Dilip Jain, and all my other friends here. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Would you like me to close it?
Business Guru, hosted by J.C. Rajmantri Srimeda, is hereby adjourned. I request the technical supporter, J.C. Sharif Garu, to end the session. Thank you.